Welcome back. Today we're diving into the world of Washington quarter dollars, one of the most iconic and valuable coins in American history. In this video, we're going to take a look at the top 10 most valuable Washington quarter dollar rare coins in today's market. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a beginner, these quarters might just be the treasure you've been looking for. So, let's jump right in. First up, the Washington quarter dollar from 1968 without a mint mark. It may sound like just another quarter, but when it comes to rarity and value, this one's a real standout. So, let's dive right in and explore why the 1968 Washington quarter without a mint mark is so highly sought after today. In 1968, the United States Mint was in the process of producing millions of Washington quarters to meet the demands of a growing economy. The Washington quarter, first minted in 1932 to honor the nation's first president, George Washington, had seen several design changes over the years. The 1968 issue was part of the regular coinage series, and it featured the classic obverse design with Washington's portrait, designed by John Flanagan, and the reverse showing a bald eagle in flight. The key here is the minting process. In 1968, coins were produced at three major mint locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. However, many people don't realize that the 1968 Washington quarter without a mint mark was actually minted in Philadelphia. Without a mint mark makes it distinct from other quarters from that year, which is one of the reasons it's so special. Now, let's talk about why the no mint mark variety of the 1968 Washington quarter stands out in the world of coin collecting. In 1968, most quarters produced in the United States carried a mint mark to indicate where they were minted, D for Denver and S for San Francisco. But the coins minted in Philadelphia were traditionally unmarked. For most coins, this wouldn't be a big deal, but for the Washington quarter, it is. You see, during this period, there was a transition in the minting process. The U.S. Mint had been transitioning away from minting coins at multiple locations, and the Philadelphia mint mark was dropped from some coins. This means that while Philadelphia produced millions of these quarters, they were all without a mint mark, which can make them appear much rarer to the collector who isn't familiar with the details. So, what about the value of the 1968 Washington quarter in extra fine condition? The condition of a coin plays a huge role in its value. Coins in extra fine condition are generally coins that have been well circulated, showing only minimal wear. These coins typically have sharp details and clear features, though they may show slight signs of use over the years. As for the 1968 Washington quarter without a mint mark in extra fine condition, it's a rare coin to find in this grade. Most quarters from this year were heavily circulated, and finding one with little wear, crisp details, and no noticeable damage is quite a challenge. In terms of value, you're looking at a coin worth more than face value, especially when it's in extra fine condition. Typically, you can expect to see these quarters fetching anywhere from $320,000, depending on the specific condition. Why has the 1968 Washington quarter with no mint mark gained value over time? Well, it comes down to a few key factors. First, rarity. There were millions of these quarters produced, but only a small fraction of them remain in good condition today. As the years go by, these coins become harder to find in extra fine or better condition, making them more desirable to collectors. Finally, auction results have shown a growing trend in higher prices for these coins. In recent years, some rare 1968 Washington quarters without mint marks in exceptional condition have sold for $385,000, and in some cases even higher, depending on the specific market and bidding interest. So, how can you identify a 1968 Washington quarter without a mint mark? It's easy to spot once you know what you're looking for. Just flip the coin over and check the reverse side for the absence of the mint mark. If the coin was produced in Philadelphia, it won't have a D or S mint mark. When it comes to caring for your 1968 Washington quarter or any coin, the key is to handle it with care. Always hold your coins by the edges to avoid getting fingerprints on the face. Store them in protective holders such as Toxwat holders, coin flips, or capsules to protect them from damage and keep them in the best possible condition. To sum it up, the 1968 Washington quarter without a mint mark is a rare and valuable coin that has earned its place in the hearts of collectors. While it's not one of the most expensive coins on the market, its historical significance and rarity make it a must-have for collectors looking to expand their collection. Next up, first, let's take a moment to understand what makes the 1986 Washington quarter so remarkable. The Washington quarter, as we all know, has been a staple of U.S. currency since 1932, honoring the first president of the United States, George Washington. The coin's design has evolved over the years, but it has maintained its iconic image of Washington on the obverse, along with a majestic eagle on the reverse. However, the 1986 version, specifically the one minted in Denver with the D mint mark, is a unique example in the world of numismatics. The year 1986 was a pivotal time in American history. It was the year the U.S. celebrated the centennial of the Statue of Liberty's dedication, and the world was seeing great advancements in technology, politics, and culture. However, when it came to coinage, the 1986 Washington quarter didn't stand out immediately like other notable years. It was just another regular coin circulating in the public, part of the U.S. Mint's ongoing series of quarters. But over time, certain factors would push the coin into the spotlight. Let's break down the key features of the 1986 Washington quarter dollar. The obverse features a classic portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan. Around the rim, we can see the inscription "Liberty" above and "In God We Trust" below, along with the year 1986 to the right of Washington's profile. On the reverse, we have the familiar eagle design, with the motto "E Pluribus Unit" and the inscriptions "Unique States of America" and "Quarter Dollar." And of course, don't forget the mint mark, the letter D for the Denver Mint, which is crucial for identifying the coin's origin. So what makes this particular Silen coin so rare and valuable today? Well, as we dive deeper into the world of coin collecting, it's clear that rarity isn't always about the age of the coin, but more about the number of coins minted, their condition, and the demand among collectors. In the case of the 1986 Washington quarter with the D mint mark, several factors come into play. For one, while the 1986 quarters were minted in high numbers, the number of coins still in circulation today is smaller than you might think. Over time, coins get lost, damaged, or worn out. But a well-preserved quarter, especially one in good circulation condition, stands out among the crowd. When we talk about the condition of this coin, it's important to remember that not all 1986 Washington quarters are created equal. The term circulation condition refers to a coin that has been in public use, meaning it has likely seen some wear and tear. This wear might include surface scratches, discoloration, or even slight bending. But despite these imperfections, coins from this era that are still in decent shape can be worth much more than their face value. The market value of a 1986 Washington quarter with a D mint mark has steadily increased over the years. While most quarters from this year were originally worth $50,000, the value of a well-preserved coin can now range from $250,000 in circulation condition, depending on its exact state. Of course, coins in better condition can fetch even higher prices at auctions or through private sales. Why has the value of this coin risen in recent years? One major reason is the continued interest in US coinage and the growing demand for well-preserved, unique pieces. Collectors, investors, and even casual enthusiasts are constantly on the lookout for coins that can hold long-term value, and the 1986 Washington quarter with the D mint mark fits this bill. If you're looking to buy or sell a 1986 Washington quarter with the D mint mark, there are a few places you can go. Online marketplaces like eBay, reputable coin dealers, and auction houses are great places to start. But remember, always check the credibility of the seller and the coin's authenticity. If you're not sure about the condition of your coin, having it professionally graded by a trusted organization like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation or the Professional Coin Grading Service can help determine its market value more accurately. The 1986 Washington quarter with the D mint mark may not have been an obvious standout when it was first minted, but today it has captured the attention of collectors and investors alike. With its intriguing design, its connection to a pivotal moment in US history, and its rarity in good condition, this coin is definitely one to keep an eye on in the coming years. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, always remember that the value of a coin is determined not only by its rarity, but also by its condition and the demand for it. So, if you happen to come across a 1986 Washington quarter, take a close look. Next up, the Washington quarter series has been a staple in US coinage since 1932. The 1977 quarter, specifically the one without a mint mark, is an interesting piece that has captured the attention of collectors worldwide. But what makes it so special? Let's break it down. The Washington quarter was first introduced to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington. Over the years, it has seen various design changes, mint marks, and even material compositions. For the 1977 quarter, no significant design alterations were made. But the absence of a mint mark tells us it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Back then, coins produced at the Philadelphia Mint didn't carry a mint mark, which makes the 1977 quarter without one a standard issue but still unique among collectors. When we say very good condition, we're referring to a specific grade in the coin collecting world. A coin in this condition shows moderate wear, with the major details still visible, but the finer details likely worn down. For the 1977 Washington quarter, this condition means it's been in circulation, but still retains enough detail to appeal to collectors who prioritize history and rarity over pristine quality. Now, let's talk about value. The 1977 Washington quarter without a mint mark isn't inherently rare, but factors like demand, condition, and historical significance drive its value up. In very good condition, this coin's value ranges from $180,000 in today's market. So, there you have it. The fascinating story of the 1977 Washington quarter without a mint mark. Whether you're looking to add one to your collection or have one sitting in a jar at home, this coin proves that everyday currency can hold incredible stories and surprising value. Next up, the Washington quarter dollar from 1965, an exceptional coin with a rare twist. What makes this particular quarter stand out? Is it really a silver treasure? And how much is it worth in today's market? Stick around as we uncover the details. The Washington quarter first made its debut in 1932, honoring the bicentennial of George Washington's birth. Its initial design, created by sculptor John Flanagan, became a staple of American coinage. Fast forward to 1965, a significant turning point for quarters. Due to the rising cost of silver and increased demand for coins, the U.S. Mint made a critical decision to switch from 90% silver quarters to a copper-nickel composition. But amidst this transition, some rare anomalies occurred. Could your 1965 quarter be one of these hidden treasures? Now, here's where things get interesting. While 1965 was the first official year for copper-nickel-clad quarters, a small number of quarters were mistakenly struck on leftover silver planchets from 1964. These rare silver quarters are considered some of the most elusive coins in numismatics. How can you tell if your 1965 quarter is silver? First, check its edges. If you see a solid silver edge with no copper core, you may have something extraordinary. Additionally, silver quarters weigh slightly more, around 6.25 grams, compared to their copper-nickel counterparts, which weigh 5.67 grams. Grab a precision scale and measure to be sure. So, what's the value of a 1965 Washington quarter today? In very fine condition, a standard copper-nickel quarter from this year is worth around $30,000. Its face value, though some may fetch up to $90,000 from collectors. But if you have a rare 1965 silver quarter, the story changes entirely. Depending on its condition, these coins can sell for anywhere between $400,000 and $700,000 at auctions. In top mint state grades, they've even surpassed $900,000. This incredible value stems from their rarity and historical significance. Before you rush to sell or buy a 1965 quarter, here are some tips. Authentication is key. If you suspect you have a silver 1965 quarter, have it authenticated by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Condition matters. Coins in very fine condition are desirable, but mint state examples command the highest prices. Auction or private sale. Remember, even if your quarter isn't silver, 1965 Washington quarters hold historical value and make excellent additions to any collection. The transition from silver to copper-nickel-clad coins in 1965 was so significant that Congress passed the Coinage Act of 1965, temporarily halting the minting of mint marks to prevent hoarding. That's why you won't find a mint mark on any 1965 quarters, no matter where they were produced. Do you have a 1965 Washington quarter in your collection? Could it be one of these rare silver treasures? Let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear your stories. Next up, before we discuss the value of this coin, let's take a quick look at its history. The Washington quarter was introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The design, featuring a portrait of Washington by sculptor John Flanagan, became iconic and is still cherished by collectors today. Now, the 1985 Washington quarter, struck at the Philadelphia Mint, carries the P Mint mark and is made of a copper-nickel-clad composition. It weighs 5.67 grams and has a diameter of 24.3 millimeters. The obverse features George Washington's bust, while the reverse depicts the majestic bald eagle clutching arrows and an olive branch. How do you identify the P Mint mark? Look carefully on the obverse side of the coin, right below the phrase, "In God We Trust." This small but crucial detail confirms that it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Now, condition matters when determining a coin's value. A coin graded as very fine shows moderate wear, but the details, such as Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers, remain sharp and distinguishable. In 1985, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 775 million Washington quarters. With such a high mintage, you might wonder why this coin is considered special. The answer lies in rarity within specific conditions, market demand, and possible errors or variations. Although the 1985 Washington quarter isn't considered rare in general circulation, collectors are willing to pay a premium for coins in excellent condition, or those with unique characteristics. In very fine condition, these coins are harder to find because of their age and widespread use. So, let's talk numbers. A 1985 Washington quarter with a P mint mark in very fine condition typically sells for around $200,000 in today's market. But if your coin has minimal wear and retains a sharp strike, its value could increase to $500,000 or more for higher-graded specimens. Coins with errors, such as off-center strikes, double dies, or planche issues, can fetch hundreds of dollars at auctions. Always check your coin carefully or get it appraised by a professional. Did you know that some collectors are willing to pay significant amounts for coins they need to complete their sets? Recently, high-grade Washington quarters from the 1980s have become increasingly popular, especially as older coins become scarcer in circulation. This is why it's a great time to search through your collection. So, there you have it. The 1985 Washington quarter with the P mint mark in very fine condition might just be the hidden treasure you've been looking for. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, remember that every coin has a story, and sometimes a surprising value. Next up, the 1972 Washington quarter dollar without a mint mark. This coin, in extra fine condition, is quite rare, and its value on the market today might just surprise you. So, grab your magnifying glass and join us as we explore this fantastic collectible. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate George Washington's 200th birthday. Since then, this iconic coin has gone through several design changes, but the design of Washington's portrait, created by John Flanagan, has remained largely the same. The 1972 Washington quarter is no exception, and it features a detailed image of George Washington on the obverse, with an eagle on the reverse. Now, while the Washington quarter is a regular staple of U.S. coinage, the 1972 issue stands out for one important reason: its scarcity in without mint mark variety, especially in extra fine condition. Why is the 1972 Washington quarter without mint mark rare? Most U.S. quarters minted after 1934 carry a mint mark, which tells you where they were produced, either the Philadelphia Mint, Denver, or San Francisco. The 1972 quarter, however, was primarily struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which did not use a mint mark for quarters that year. So, finding one of these quarters without a mint mark is not necessarily rare in itself. What makes it interesting is its condition. Extra fine condition refers to a coin that has been used but still retains sharp details and minimal wear. For a 1972 Washington quarter, this means that Washington's features are clear and well-defined, and the eagle on the reverse has visible feathers with only slight wear. These coins still exhibit most of their luster and are a step up from M in fine or very fine condition. The better the condition, the more valuable the coin. How valuable is the 1972 Washington quarter without mint mark today? So, how much could you get for a 1972 Washington quarter without a mint mark in extra fine condition today? Well, the price can vary depending on the rarity of the coin in the current market, as well as demand from collectors. In general, a 1972 Washington quarter without a mint mark in extra fine condition can be valued anywhere from $20,000. However, if you're fortunate enough to own one of the more exceptional specimens, say one with a strong strike and little to no signs of wear, the value can rise to over $130,000 or more at auction or among specialized collectors. Why is the 1972 Washington quarter without mint mark in extra fine condition special? Even though this coin might not fetch the sky-high prices of rarer coins, the 1972 Washington quarter without a mint mark remains a highly sought-after collectible. Its rarity, especially in extra fine condition, makes it an appealing choice for coin collectors looking to add a piece of American history to their collection. Another factor that plays into the value is the general trend of collectors appreciating older, well-preserved coins. As time goes on, fewer 1972 Washington quarters will be available in excellent condition, and their value could increase. How to spot a 1972 Washington quarter without mint mark in extra fine condition? If you think you might have a 1972 Washington quarter in extra fine condition, here are a few things to look for. Sharp details. The hair, especially around Washington's face, should be clearly defined. Minimal wear. The high points, like the eagle's wings and tail feathers, should still be visible without significant wear. No mint mark as mentioned earlier. The 1972 quarters minted at the Philadelphia Mint did not have a mint mark. Look for this detail on the reverse side just below the eagle. If your coin checks all these boxes, you might just have a gem in your hands. If you're thinking about selling or buying a 1972 Washington quarter without a mint mark, there are a few places to consider. Online marketplaces like eBay, coin-specific websites, and local coin shops are all good options. Auctions can also be a great way to sell your coin, especially if you have a particularly high-quest specimen. Always remember to do your research and verify the condition and authenticity of a coin before making a purchase or sale. So, there you have it, a closer look at the Washington quarter dollar from 1972 without a mint mark in extra fine condition. While it might not be as valuable as some of the rarer coins out there, it still holds a special place in the hearts of collectors. Its scarcity, combined with its historical significance, makes it a coin worth holding onto. Next up, the Washington quarter dollar from 1980 with the D mint mark. You might be surprised to know that this coin, in circulation condition, is actually more valuable than you might think. So, let's explore its history, its rarity, and why it has such a big value today. First things first, let's take a closer look at the Washington quarter dollar. The Washington quarter, first minted in 1932, was designed to honor the first president of the United States, George Washington. The coin features a portrait of Washington on the obverse, and on the reverse, it features an eagle standing on an olive branch. This design remained unchanged from 1932 until 1998, when it started transitioning to the State Quarters series. The 1980 Washington quarter dollar was produced in large numbers, with millions of these coins being minted at the Denver Mint, which is indicated by the D Mint mark on the coin. But what makes this coin rare and valuable today? Well, it has to do with the condition of the coin, the overall demand for these vintage coins, and some key features we're going to talk about. Over the years, there has been a steady demand for well-preserved Washington quarters, especially those minted in the 1970s and 1980s. Collectors who are building sets of Washington quarters or are looking for coins with historical significance are always on the lookout for coins like the 1980 Washington quarter with the D mint mark. Show a few examples of recent auction results and listings for the 1980 Washington quarter with D mint mark. Now, let's get to the most exciting part, the market value of this coin. The value of a Washington quarter from 1980 with a D mint mark depends heavily on its condition. In average circulation condition, you can expect the coin to be worth only slightly above face value, around $95,000. But here's where it gets interesting. If you find a 1980 D quarter that is in better than average condition, like in very fine or extra fine condition, it can be worth anywhere from $300,000. And if the coin is in uncirculated or proof-like condition, the value jumps even higher, sometimes reaching $500,000 or more. If you're lucky enough to find one of these coins with a really low mintage error, you could see its value skyrocket even more, depending on the rarity of that specific error. Just remember, coin values can fluctuate depending on the current demand and collector interest, so always check up-to-date price guides, auction sites, and consult with professional dealers when assessing your coin's value. So, how can you tell if you have a rare 1980 Washington quarter? First, always look for the mint mark. The D mint mark means it was produced at the Denver Mint, and this is the version we're discussing today. You'll find the mint mark right under the "In God We Trust" motto, near George Washington's neck. Secondly, examine the overall condition of the coin. A high-grade coin will have crisp, sharp details with minimal wear on Washington's face and the eagle's feathers. The luster should still be visible, giving it a shiny, reflective quality. If your coin shows heavy wear, scratches, or discoloration, it will be considered in lower circulation condition and have a lower value. In conclusion, the Washington quarter dollar from 1980 with the D mint mark may not be the rarest coin out there, but it certainly has its place in the world of coin collecting. Its value is influenced by its mintage, condition, and demand in the market. So, if you happen to find one in good condition, it's worth keeping an eye on its potential market value. Next up, the 1983 quarter with the P mint mark. You might be surprised by its rarity and value in today's market, so stay tuned as we uncover its fascinating story. Released over 40 years ago, the 1983 Washington quarter might seem like just another coin in your pocket change. But when you take a closer look, you'll see that this coin holds more value than meets the eye. Let's break down why the 1983 quarter with the P mint mark is so special. The Washington quarter, minted since 1932, features a profile of George Washington on the obverse and an eagle on the reverse. While 1983 may not have had any major design changes, what makes the 1983 quarter stand out is its rarity and the condition of many that were minted. Minted in Philadelphia, the 1983 Washington quarter carries the P mint mark, which signifies it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. For context, coins from the Philadelphia Mint during this era are not as commonly collected as those from Denver or San Francisco, especially when it comes to quarters. Many of these coins, like most quarters from this period, were used heavily in circulation, leading to wear and tear. However, it's the ones that have been well preserved that hold significant value today. So, why is the 1983 Washington quarter so valuable, especially the ones in circulation condition? To understand this, let's take a look at the state of coin collecting in the 1980s and the rarity of certain coins. In the 1980s, there were fewer collectors actively pursuing Washington quarters compared to today. As a result, many of these coins were spent and circulated through everyday transactions. While the 1983 quarter wasn't necessarily considered a rare coin at the time of its release, over the years, fewer have survived in pristine or above-average condition. Coins like the 1983 Washington quarter in circulation condition, especially those with minimal wear and decent details, can be extremely valuable to collectors. If your 1983 quarter is in good condition, it could be worth more than just a few quarters. To determine how valuable your 1983 quarter is, the most important factor is its condition. Most quarters from 1983 that were in circulation will show signs of wear, such as flattened details and a worn eagle on the reverse. These quarters typically fetch a small premium above face value, but they are far from being considered rare. However, if your coin has been well preserved and is graded as extra fine or better, you could be holding onto something worth much more. Depending on its condition, a 1983 quarter with the P mint mark can range in value. Coins that are in extra fine condition may be valued at around $35,000. If it's graded as uncirculated, it could even fetch up to $90,000 or more. In rare cases, an exceptionally well-preserved example might even be worth closer to $200,000. Currently, the market for 1983 Washington quarters is seeing a rise in demand thanks to a growing interest in vintage coins and Washington Quarter Series completions. Collectors are looking for those unique, well-preserved pieces that might have slipped through the cracks all those years ago. If you've got a quarter with the P mint mark in decent shape, it could bring in a solid return. At coin auctions and online platforms like eBay, you'll often see these coins being sold for anywhere between $350,000 depending on their condition and buyer interest. The best part? The market for rare, circulated coins like these is likely to continue growing as coin collectors and investors look for hidden gems in old change. So, to wrap it up, the 1983 Washington quarter with the P mint mark may not have been considered rare when it was first released, but today it can hold a surprising amount of value, especially if you've got one in excellent condition. And with the growing interest in vintage coin collecting, it's a good idea to hold onto these coins if you happen to find them in your pocket change. Remember, the key to unlocking the potential value of any coin lies in its condition, so take a close look at your 1983 quarters. And if you find one that's in great shape, you could have a rare coin worth more than its face value. Thanks for watching today's video. If you enjoyed learning about the 1983 Washington quarter, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell for more coin collecting tips and tricks. Have you ever come across a valuable 1983 quarter? Drop a comment below and share your story. Until next time, keep collecting and stay curious.